As a hard-hitting political reporter, I rarely do red carpet coverage, but today, it's The Simpsons, and we're on the yellow carpet.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
The country is broke? How can that be?
Is The Simpsons secretly controlling our future? People have long whispered about the show's uncanny ability to predict real events. From political twists to sporting triumphs.
Excellent question. Yes, I am proud to be America's first straight female president. Helen?
Wasn't I wearing a hat?
Yes, you were.
This animated comedy has shocked viewers by being eerily accurate.
Looking into a picture going around online this month. It claims to show a screenshot of a 2002 episode of The Simpsons that eerily mirrors real-life events. It shows Donald Trump touching a glowing orb with two Middle Eastern-looking men. Well, last month, President Trump did just that with the King of Saudi Arabia and the President of Egypt.
But what's really going on behind this so-called prophecy? In this report, we'll uncover the shocking truth that nobody dares to share. Get ready to discover the secrets hidden beneath the laughter and find out if there's more to it than meets the eye. COVID-19 prediction. For many fans of The Simpsons, the idea that the show predicted the arrival of COVID-19 in a 1993 episode, Marge in Chains, feels more than a coincidence.
We are looking into yet another claim about The Simpsons predicting a big news event. The story this time is that the iconic TV show eerily predicted the outbreak of the coronavirus.
In that storyline, a virus from Asia spreads quickly across Springfield, causing panic and confusion. Similarities to the events of 2020 are remarkable, leading many to wonder if the show can truly see the future or simply taps into broad cultural anxieties. Critics argue that The Simpsons' prediction is nothing more than fans looking for patterns. After all, the show has aired over 700 episodes across decades, providing countless storylines. Yet it's hard to dismiss the unsettling parallels. A global virus outbreak, mass uncertainty, and even conspiracy theories about who's to blame. Scenes of Springfield scrambling for cures and health advice ring close to the real-world struggles we faced during the pandemic. One reason for The Simpsons' success in hinting at future events may be the talented writing team, which stays on top of current trends and pokes fun at society's quirks. By weaving these observations into their scripts, they create storylines that seem realistic, if not prophetic. It's likely that viewers recall episodes that match real-life events, while ignoring the jokes that remain just fiction. Whether it's prophecy or pure chance, the COVID-19 episode shows why The Simpsons continues to fascinate fans. Its mix of humor and social commentary captivates viewers, sparking conversations about how life imitates art. While no one can say for sure if the show predicts the future, its surprising coincidences keep fans debating around the world. Some even call it the show's most talked about prediction. AI takeover. When it comes to predicting future technologies, few shows can match The Simpsons. Fans often point to an episode that teased advanced artificial intelligence, wondering if the show foresaw our modern AI obsession. Though The Simpsons is mainly known for its humor, it has a knack for weaving in genuine insights about society. This AI storyline portrayed machines that grow beyond human control.
I look at their hands, which have turned into buzzsaws. And
causing both practical and moral concerns. Sound familiar? In today's world, AI systems like chatbots and self-driving cars are raising questions about ethics and safety. Some viewers believe The Simpsons predicted the rise of AI through clever storylines that mirrored our modern concerns. But it might just be that the writers keep an eye on real-world trends and exaggerate them for comedic effect. Either way, the episode's warning about runaway technology resonates now more than ever. Every day, we hear stories of AI tools taking over certain tasks once reserved for humans. From writing articles to driving cars, machines are slowly but surely integrating themselves into our daily routines, prompting discussions about privacy, employment, and regulation. Donald Trump presidency. In the year 2000, The Simpsons aired an episode titled Bart to the Future, showing a bizarre future where Donald Trump had been president of the United States.
And it seems The Simpsons just can't wait for next season to deal with Donald Trump.
For many fans, it was hard to believe the show had captured such a precise piece of political history years before it happened. This unexpected alignment sparked endless conversations about The Simpsons' predictive powers. People shared clips of the episode across social media, marveling at how one of television's most iconic cartoons had seemingly visualized America's future. Although the show primarily aims to entertain, it has a long track record of including timely references and social commentary, which, when looked at through a wide lens, can seem prophetic. The Donald Trump presidency storyline isn't a carbon copy of what happened in real life, but it accurately depicted Trump as a leader who created plenty of financial and social waves in the nation. In the episode, Lisa Simpson becomes the first female president, inheriting a budget crisis after Trump's time in the White House. The show's comedic spin highlights the aftermath of his leadership, mirroring the political divides that arose during his actual presidency. Writers for The Simpsons often draw from real-world personalities and topical events, amplifying them through satire. Their aim is humor, not predictions. However, viewers still find it fascinating how fiction and reality can collide in such unexpected ways. Billionaire space race. The Simpsons has a way of crafting storylines that seem to catch up with real-life events. One such instance involves the race among billionaires to reach outer space. While space travel once belonged almost exclusively to government programs, we are now seeing public figures like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson launch rockets and orbit the Earth. Fans point to a 1994 episode, Deep Space Homer, where Homer Simpson becomes an astronaut, believing it hints at a future where everyday people, and even the ultra-wealthy, venture into the stars. In the episode, NASA aims to boost sagging ratings by sending an average citizen to space, which satirically reflects the current media spotlight on private space firms. When we see the flamboyant celebrations and branding around each billionaire's rocket launch today, it feels oddly similar to the humor The Simpsons provided long before anyone took private space travel seriously. The show's writers have a knack for tapping into cultural trends and caricaturing them in ways that resonate with viewers. It was only a matter of time before real-life entrepreneurs made space travel their personal playground. Still, is it fair to call this a prophecy? The Simpsons has always been more about social commentary than crystal ball gazing. The scriptwriters simply observe emerging patterns and push them to comical extremes. Back in the 1990s, sending a cartoon dad like Homer to space was the ultimate joke. Now, with private space flights underway, The Simpsons appears visionary yet again. Higgs boson discovery. A 1998 Simpsons episode, The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, sparks awe among science fans. In the show, Homer writes an odd equation on a chalkboard. Years later, many claimed this equation closely resembles the formula for the Higgs boson, also called the God particle. This mind-boggling discovery was announced in 2012 by CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, after intense experiments at the Large Hadron Collider. The idea that a cartoon character might have predicted such a big scientific moment stirs curiosity. Mathematicians and physicists have compared Homer's scribbles to real calculations behind the Higgs boson's mass. Though the numbers are not exactly precise, they are surprisingly close. As with most Simpsons prophecies, it's likely a cunning mix of creativity, humor, and a bit of luck, but it still leaves many watchers shaking their heads in disbelief. Fans wonder if The Simpsons writers were exceptionally forward-thinking or just happened to poke fun at complex scientific ideas long before the mainstream caught on. The show's sharp commentary and ability to reflect our culture is part of its enduring charm. After all, Placing a groundbreaking physics formula in the hands of an everyday dad is classic Simpsons humor, an unlikely situation that ends up hinting at reality. Similar to other moments where The Simpsons seems to predict the future, the Higgs boson storyline balances on a thin line between coincidence and foresight. The real moral is that staying curious about science can lead to surprises where we least expect them, even on a chalkboard in a cartoon. Smartwatches. One of The Simpsons' most intriguing predictions involves wrist-worn technology that resembles modern smartwatches. In the 1995 episode titled Lisa's Wedding, viewers get a glimpse into the future, where Lisa's fiancé communicates through a watch that allows voice calls. At the time, such a futuristic device seemed straight out of a spy movie. Yet, a couple of decades later, watchers were amazed when technology companies began releasing real devices that could place phone calls and provide personal alerts right from the wrist. Initially, many fans of the show overlooked this detail, focusing instead on the humorous storyline about Lisa's future. However, when smartwatches from major tech companies like Apple and Samsung dominated television ads and online stores, people reminisced about how The Simpsons had shown a version of the concept years before it became everyday reality. Although cartoons have often portrayed advanced gadgets, this specific match seemed surprisingly close, reinforcing the notion that The Simpsons has a knack for peeking into tomorrow's world. Still, some argue that the show's depiction of smartwatch-like devices wasn't an incredible prophecy so much as a logical extension of existing technologies. Portable phones were shrinking back in the 1990s, and wearable gadgets were already under development in labs.
Wearable technology is all around us. Tech like smartwatches can be great for tracking our workouts and helping us to stay connected. But for some, the constant monitoring of daily stats like steps and sleep can lead to anxiety.
Even so, it's impressive how accurately The Simpsons episode captured the essence of a device that would eventually sit on millions of wrists, tracking fitness, streaming data, and handling rapid communication. Disney buying Fox. In 1998, The Simpsons slipped in a joke that today seems surprisingly on point. A quick shot revealing a banner that read, "20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Co." At the time, it was just another playful gag mixed into the show's endless stream of pop culture references. Yet, about 2 decades later, Disney actually purchased the bulk of 21st Century Fox in a massive deal.
Walt Disney Company is buying a large portion of 21st Century Fox. That includes its movie and TV studios, the Hulu streaming service, and a number of hit franchises.
This real-world merger caught the attention of fans, who couldn't help but recall that brief moment when Homer's world seemed to foresee the future. By many accounts, this particular instance of predicting was less about psychic skill and more about tongue-in-cheek humor. After all, The Simpsons writers are experts in comedic commentary on the media landscape. Still, it's hard not to be intrigued by how close their quick joke was to actual events. At the time the episode aired, most people likely dismissed the idea of Disney owning Fox Studios. It sounded too big and far-fetched. Yet, merging entertainment giants was precisely what happened when Disney expanded its empire in 2019. The joke itself carried the same playful wit that defines The Simpsons, taking a cultural possibility, exaggerating it, and sprinkling it into an animated universe. It's one of the reasons the show continues to captivate viewers, weaving real-life companies, public figures, and social themes into its offbeat setting. For those who cherish the series, each fulfilled prophecy further cements The Simpsons in pop culture lore. Game of Thrones plot twist. In 2017, an episode of The Simpsons titled The Simpsons featured a medieval fantasy world that took playful jabs at popular fantasy series, particularly Game of Thrones.
The soothsayers at The Simpsons have done it again. This time, they correctly predicted the ending to the most recent episode of Game of Thrones.
Within that parody, keen-eyed fans point to a scene in which a dragon sets fire to a whole village, supposedly mirroring the shocking twist in the final season of Game of Thrones, when Daenerys Targaryen unleashed her dragon upon King's Landing. While some people think it's a stretch, others remain convinced that Springfield once again provided an eerie, rule-bending look at events before they aired. Just like with previous prophecies, The Simpsons didn't present an exact clone of Game of Thrones storylines. Rather, they used playful satire and comedic exaggeration to poke fun at the show's iconic imagery: dragons, knights, and fantasy politics. Yet, when Daenerys made that drastic choice in the final season, fans dug up the Simpsons clip, marveling at how closely it resembled the real crisis on screen. As with most Simpsons predictions, it leaves viewers debating whether the show's writers are simply outstanding cultural observers or have some uncanny sense of what's to come. This unexpected alignment also underscores the cleverness of the writers, who have spent decades commenting on every major TV trend. By spoofing Game of Thrones, they created a moment that would later feel startlingly similar to one of the biggest twists in modern television. Whether you see it as wild luck or genuine tarot-like insight, The Simpsons continues to fascinate audiences with these surprising parallels. Cryptocurrency advances. In early 2020, an episode of The Simpsons took a playful dive into the world of cryptocurrency, featuring a cartoon segment explaining how digital coins and blockchain technology work. It was a lighthearted moment, but to many viewers, it felt like another eerie prophecy from the show. After all, the creators have a history of surprising us with storylines that later ring true. In this episode, Professor Frink and a Talking Ledger cameo gave a simplified yet accurate breakdown of the concepts behind cryptocurrency. Not long after, cryptocurrency soared in popularity. Bitcoin and other digital tokens grabbed headlines, with mainstream investors and even celebrities jumping in. Some fans pointed to The Simpsons' earlier nod as an uncanny wink at this dramatic rise. Yet, it might just show the writer's gift for weaving real-world events into Springfield's ever-changing tapestry. Throughout its long run, The Simpsons has referenced cutting-edge ideas, from space tourism to artificial intelligence, offering humor and mild guidance on where society might be headed. This case sheds light on how quickly technology changes. What seemed new and puzzling in one episode soon became a well-known part of modern finance. While enthusiasts hail it as another example of The Simpsons' uncanny foresight, others argue the show merely mirrors trends already simmering beneath the surface. Either way, it's a testament to the writer's ability to catch the cultural mood. The cryptocurrency-themed segment sparked laughs and interest, encouraging viewers to approach new technologies with both caution and curiosity. Super Bowl predictions. One of the most talked-about claims of The Simpsons' so-called prophetic powers involves their apparent knack for guessing Super Bowl outcomes. Over the years, episodes of the show have poked fun at the NFL and often revolved around big game festivities. Fans point to specific moments, like the 1992 episode Lisa the Greek, where Lisa's last-minute predictions seem to match real-life Super Bowl winners. Scenes of Homer and his buddies gathered around the TV add a layer of realism that resonates with viewers, blending football mania with Springfield's trademark humor. Because the Super Bowl draws a massive audience, it's no wonder The Simpsons routinely features it. But the idea that the show outright predicts certain matchups or victors may be more coincidence than wizardry. In many cases, the writers lean on popular teams or big-name stars that are likely to appear on football's biggest stage. Sometimes, real-world outcomes line up with the jokes, and fans instantly spread the word that The Simpsons called it once again. This playful vibe adds to the show's allure, sparking countless memes and heated debates online. In truth, The Simpsons stays tuned to cultural trends. Major sporting events like the Super Bowl are prime targets for satire and commentary. With the show's vast number of episodes, it's not surprising that some plots echo real life. Much of the hype stems from our fascination with uncanny coincidences. When fans see a snippet of the game or a reference that matches reality, they declare yet another prophecy. Economic collapse. The global economy has faced many ups and downs in recent years, and the United States has been hit hard.
The world is. A financial crisis in the United States or in China would, in theory, have a global effect.
In 2020, the U.S. printed $3.3 trillion.
The debate has recently been fierce in the U.S. with a lot of intense lobbying about a small tweak in some of the...
With many experts predicting a significant risk of severe inflation and eventual global financial meltdown. Right now, people are struggling with jobs and securing homes. Experts think this is just the beginning. Things will likely get worse in the coming year. Interestingly, The Simpsons might have predicted this. In a 2000 episode called Bart to the Future, the show predicted that there would be an economic collapse during a Trump presidency. While Trump isn't president now, he would be sworn in by January, making the show's predictions similar to what could happen in real life. Whether this is just a strange coincidence or something more is unclear. With the economy in a shaky state, keeping an eye on your funds is wise, since the future is uncertain. If you think that was just a coincidence, how do you explain the next prediction on our list, which shocked every Simpsons watcher? The Shard in London. The Shard is a famous skyscraper in London.
This is a unique building. It's the only building I can think of that looks like the tip of an intergalactic spear. It's something that I think is going to capture people's imagination, and loads of people are going to want to come up this thing.
It has become a popular spot for TV shows to sneak in fun scenes. But what about a cartoon predicting its existence years before it was built? That's exactly what some fans believe happened in a 1995 episode of The Simpsons. In the episode, Lisa Simpson goes on a school trip to London in a futuristic flash-forward. During her adventure, she meets a boy named Hugh Parkfield, setting the stage for a sweet international romance. But sharp-eyed viewers noticed something unusual in the background of a scene. Tower Bridge, one of London's famous landmarks, is visible, but there's also a mysterious skyscraper nearby, a shape that looks a lot like the Shard. Here's the weird part. The Shard wasn't built until 2009, 14 years after the episode aired. Was this a random coincidence? Or did The Simpsons predict the future again? AI takeover. Experts have warned that artificial intelligence could take over many jobs for years. Surprisingly, The Simpsons saw it coming. In a 2012 episode called The Informant, Homer Simpson loses his career at the Springfield nuclear power plant because robots take over. Mr. Burns, the plant's owner, delivers a chilling line. Humans will train these robots, you will train them, and they will replace you. This is similar to how people today train AI tools before taking on tasks like coding, finance, and creative work. The Simpsons also predicted AI dangers in a 1994 episode, Itchy and Scratchy Land. The episode features a theme park run by robots. At first, everything is fun, but the robots become self-aware and cause chaos. While this was meant to be funny, it now feels like a warning about the risks of advanced AI. As the new year approaches, the idea of AI causing real-world problems doesn't seem nearer than ever. If you believe AI models will rebel against us one day, kindly like this video and share your thoughts before we reveal the next chilling prediction. Pandemic and murder hornets combination. One of the most surprising predictions made by The Simpsons is found in the 1993 episode Marge in Chains.
China has identified the cause of the mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
This episode seemed to predict two major real-world events, the COVID-19 pandemic and the arrival of murder hornets in the United States by 2025. In the episode, a flu virus travels from Japan to Springfield after contaminated juice shipments are imported. This bears a strong similarity to how COVID-19 spread across the globe.
If this virus makes it to a weaker health system, it will create havoc. To be honest, a virus is more powerful.
Even more strangely, the episode shows a scene of chaos at a hospital where crates labeled killer bees are accidentally released by panicked citizens. Is there going to be a killer hornet outbreak in the coming year? Nobody wants to find out. World War III. Here comes one of the most unsettling predictions of The Simpsons, a new world war. With global conflicts like the war in Ukraine and the tensions between Israel, Lebanon, and Palestine, some believe the world might be nearing a major crisis. Former CIA operative Andrew Bustamante has even suggested that a global war could begin by next year. According to him, we might already be in the early stages of a new global war. Strangely, The Simpsons touched on this idea back in 1987. In a Season 2 episode titled World War I, Homer Simpson panics, yelling, "Wake up, everybody! It's World War III!"
Wake up, everybody! It's World War III!
Given today's global climate, what was once a funny exaggeration now feels relevant. Black holes. Next on the list is the prediction of a black hole appearing on Earth. While scientists know black holes exist, there's still so much we don't understand. The Simpsons had their take on this in an episode where a small black hole shows up and starts sucking in objects. The more things people throw into it, the bigger it grows. Eventually, the black hole gets so massive that it consumes everything. Strangely, the people and objects inside it end up on another planet, where aliens welcome them. It's a scary thought. What if something like this happened in 2025? Scientists have already discovered a black hole near Earth. Could humanity survive such an event? Don't get scared yet because the most terrifying predictions are still ahead. Holograms technology. The Simpsons always seems to be ahead of its time. In the episode Bart to the Future, Bart receives a hologram message inviting his band to play at a club. This scene demonstrates the everyday use of holograms for communication and entertainment. It is impressive that the show thought of using holograms this way long before they became a real possibility. Could this be another one of The Simpsons' predictions? With rapid technological advancements, it's not impossible that holograms could replace mobile phones one day. Imagine seeing a 3D projection of someone instead of texting or calling them. Will 2025 be the year this prophecy comes true? There are so many questions about how far this technology can go, and only time will tell if this vision of the future becomes a reality. Hover cars. Hover cars feel like something out of a sci-fi movie, but The Simpsons has already imagined them as part of everyday life. In one of the show's future-themed episodes, Bart and Lisa use hover cars to get around the city. Hover cars are shown as the usual way people travel, blending seamlessly into daily life. This idea isn't just fantasy. It shows scientists and engineers' technological progress. With innovators like Elon Musk working on futuristic transportation ideas, could we see hover cars by 2025?
I mean, we got to be excited about the future. We got to do things that make us want to live, you know? It cannot always be about problems every day.
While the technology is still in development, it's exciting to think about how close we might be to achieving this vision of the future. Who knows? The Simpsons might be right again. Nuclear apocalypse. This is probably the scariest of The Simpsons' predictions. A chilling prediction of a nuclear apocalypse. Yes, you heard that right. This one is both frightening and unsettling. In the episode Homer of the Great, there's a joke about a secret society planning a nuclear disaster. Another episode goes even further, showing the aftermath of a nuclear apocalypse.
I suppose that's normal background radiation, the kind you'd find in any well-maintained nuclear facility, or for that matter, playgrounds and hospitals.
It shows a scene of humanity's destruction, with Homer Simpson as the only survivor. While the show often delivers humor, this topic is profound and thought-provoking. Given the current political unrest and tensions around the world, the fear of nuclear war feels more real than ever. Could this be another one of The Simpsons' predictions coming true? Let's hope not. A nuclear war would have devastating consequences, and it's something we should all hope to avoid at any cost. Fingers crossed that this particular prophecy stays fictional. The following prediction will leave all space lovers inspired. Keep watching to find out. Training to live in space. The Simpsons also touched on humanity's dreams of exploring space and making other planets habitable. In one episode, Homer's family visits a research facility and learns about a project called Exploration Incorporated. This mission focuses on advancing human exploration of Mars by training people to live in space and eventually sending them to the Red Planet to build a settlement. This idea is not impossible when NASA and other space organizations work on similar projects. They've already developed simulations of Martian environments where astronauts train to get used to life on Mars. With all the progress in space exploration, we could soon see humans living on Mars. Settling on another planet might seem like science fiction, but thanks to these advancements, it's becoming more like a reality. Let's hope The Simpsons was right about this one. Trapped in a dome. In the Simpsons movie 2007, there's a scene where a city is trapped inside a giant dome by the government. This seems like a wild idea, but it could happen with how things are going today. The cost of living is rising, and some people think the government could use such a tactic to control how much people consume by putting them in a restricted space. If this happens, they could even cut off electricity and the internet to ensure people use less. While this idea might sound like something out of a cartoon, it's not impossible to imagine that governments could take extreme measures in the future, but whether it will happen is uncertain. The concept seems unlikely, but it's a reminder of how societal changes could make some leaders go wild. We would love to know your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed watching the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen and you will enjoy it.